Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my final video of 2025. This video will be a part of the Gotham Over the Board tournament series, part of the Road to Grandmaster series. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 games that I played at my last tournament, the last tournament of 2025. They were all very, very fun games, quite instructive, and I'll also give you an update about my tournament plans for 2026 and playing over-the-board chess. I'll be playing quite a bit more than I did this year. Next year will be a very busy year as we also have the candidates, and then we have the World Championship. I also have 2 books coming out in the year 2026. So in general, as always, I like to end the year with an update of what you can expect in the next calendar year. With that in mind, this is what I'm doing. January is a crazy, crazy, crazy month. I'm going to be playing in 6 tournaments. 3 of them are Blitz tournaments, pure Blitz. Then I'm playing 2 classical tournaments, and then I'm playing 1 mixed event. The mixed event is my match against Julian Song, the French chess content creator. That will be in the middle of the month. That will be in Spain. And more details to come about that. And then in the next few months, I have these tournaments as well. I'll be covering all of them. Also, in March and April is the candidates tournament, so that will be covered on this channel. That's going to be very, very exciting. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be playing more. I'm going to be trying to gain more rating. In March, Chess for Babies comes out. I have the only copy right there that's Chess for Babies in the world. Later in 2026, I'm doing another Europe tour as part of my How to Win at Chess Next Level launch, the intermediate version of my book for roughly 1,000 to 1,700 rated players. Since this is a video about planning for the future and so on and so forth, it's actually only perfect that the sponsor of today's video is Notion. Folks, have you ever had a thought or an idea about literally anything, and then all of a sudden, poof, it's gone? Well, allow me to introduce you to Notion. Notion is the easiest way to organize your thoughts and plans. It's one tool, personalized to your own style, that can help you do anything, from remodeling your kitchen to reaching 1,000 ELO in chess. And now, it even comes with Notion Agent. This thing is incredible. It can complete a task from start to finish. It can summarize massive documents and even build you a massive database. For example, here's me asking it to create a simple database for how to train to get to 1,000 ELO in chess. To remember anything, like my daily to-dos or errands, I used to use these. My room probably made me look like a lunatic. Notion is much better. On it, I can organize everything. My chess goals, my fitness goals, my life goals, and any big picture project that I would like to tackle in the next few years. And Notion Agent just takes that experience to the next level. Folks, seriously, give Notion a try. It's time to get organized and inspired to build something amazing in your life in 2026. Try Notion Agent for free at this link. Now, let's get back to the video. And so let us begin a tournament recap of my last competition in the year 2025. This was a tournament where every single game was 25 minutes per player, and the American time control is with a 5-second delay. So what that means is your time does not start running until a 5-second time bank goes to 0. That's how America does it. It's actually incredibly stressful to play this format because normally all other countries, just like we have feet and yards and everybody else does, you know, meters and stuff like that, and Celsius and Fahrenheit, we also do it this way. I've gotten so used to playing with a bonus time on a physical real clock. It was quite interesting to get back to my roots. Anyway, this is FIDE Rapid rating, so my opponents are rated 2160. This opponent was rated 1860 FIDE Rapid rating, but he's actually 2000, 2100 strength. Then I played International Master De Silva from Sri Lanka, strong player, played him online many times. And this young man rated around 2200, but really 2090 Rapid. So let's go. This first game was a very, very nice one. I played quite inspired chess. D4. My opponent went knight to f6. You know me, I don't just play the Trompowsky in meaningless online blitz games. I'll play it face to face, which is pretty, like, I wonder how this feels to be an opponent with the black pieces. Like, I wonder if people have watched my content and seen what the Trompowsky has done to other people on this channel. And now they're like, oh my God, I'm getting trumped. And I started with the trump. Opponent went e6. Now here, the big center variation is very good. That's literally what it's called. I'm not just making that up. This is part of my Trompowsky course. I like to also play it like this with knight to d2. This is one of the many, many setups that white can play in this position. And one of the benefits is that you haven't developed this knight. So you can always go for a stonewall structure with c3, e3, and the pawn on f4 before you do this. My opponent went h6, attacking my bishop. I slid the bishop back, and he took the center with d5. I played e3, and here, I mean, I have a lot of experience. I once covered a game on this channel where my opponent went bishop to e7. Actually, I should say opponents, because I played two 2600 FIDE-rated brothers at the same time in Munich, Germany, in May earlier this year. That was my 2-on-1 matchup against the Svane brothers. Bishop d3 is what I chose in the game. You see, I'm still waiting to see what my opponent is going to do. He castled his king, and I played the move c3. I still don't exactly know what black is going to do here. Will black play for the move c5? That's a very normal move. How is black going to develop? Ultimately, my opponent in this game played b6. Now, b6 is a very annoying move. I was actually very unhappy to see this. The idea is that black, in one move, wants to play bishop to a6. That's what black wants. Black wants to go here and then trade my bishop. I thought for a little bit here. I have several options, and I ultimately went for queen e2 because I wanted to, first of all, stop the move bishop to a6, and second of all, prepare the advance with e4. So, you know, for instance, you know, here I can take this knight, I can still remove the knight from the position and still go for my stone wall with f4. That very well could be the right idea. But also I might need to trade the light squared bishop, and if I trade the light squared bishop, I'm not going to be able to checkmate anybody. I'm just going to have to play kind of a long-term grinding game where I have the stone wall structure and a little bit tighter control on the center of the board. Opponent went bishop b7. Now, bishop b7 is definitely an inaccuracy. It's a little slow. It now relies on the move queen to c8, and I kind of knew that. I mean, I knew that if my opponent went bishop b7 and queen c8, he was going to continue to try to play for this bishop a6 idea, but it takes 3 moves, right? And I was like, okay, well, that's clearly his idea. Now I'm going to take this knight. The knight now removes any control from the center, and very quickly I set up this stonewall structure. You can already see that the advantage for white is actually meaningful. It's 0.85. Like, that's a pretty big advantage for having played just 10 moves, and seemingly my opponent didn't even do anything incorrect. And this bishop is just a very poor defender of the king. It's not a participant in the center. It's also hardly a participant of defending the king. It doesn't defend this. And in many ways, with the pawn on h6, they are both hooks. They're both targets for my pawn storm. And yes, I do want to go g4, h4, and g5. And maybe I'll even castle long. Now queen c8 was played, and it's clear that the idea is to go bishop a6. At this point, what's funny about this position is I can just ignore this plan completely. I can just continue with my plan of knight f3, bishop a6, and just g4. And I was, what? I didn't play this because I didn't see the idea. The idea is that I just trade. He goes queen a6, and I just don't trade the queen. I keep my queen on the same diagonal. It didn't occur to me during this rapid game that I can just allow him to put his queen on a very active square, and I just keep attacking. But actually, if you run this through the computer, like even if black goes for counterplay, white's attack is way more powerful, way faster. In fact, it's so powerful, you can even ignore this pawn and go g5, and very quickly, white can just checkmate black. Like, it's, you know, if black is not careful. So I could have went for this. In fact, now that I know this, I will consider this for future games. I actually over-respected this idea, and I made a mistake. Now I played the move b4. B4 was simply an inaccuracy here. My opponent can now equalize here with an accurate move order of the pawns. I played the move b4 because I thought if bishop a6, well, then I just play b5. And then I just play my attack, and I'm going to win the game. That's why I went b4, and I also thought if c5, well, this doesn't really scare anybody because I just develop. Like, there's no threat here. I just take, and I have all the same ideas. The right idea here for black was after a5, b5 to go c6. Now, during the game, I had felt like this was pretty slow. I thought that, if anything, I can just allow my opponent to do all this, and then I can even go for g4. Queen c3, for example, I can move my king even. I'm down 2 pawns, but it just felt like, well, the bishop is permanently stuck, the knight is stuck, h4, g5. And yeah, actually, the more the computer thinks about it, the more it likes this. So maybe it wasn't such a mistake after all. But my opponent went c5, and then knight c6, but there is no breakthrough. There is absolutely no breakthrough in the stonewall structure. CB, it just doesn't work at all. Everything is protected here, and this is coming. And here it is. just leaving my king in the center of the board, same side, king side attack, more space as a result of the stonewall structure, terrible piece placement for black, this piece not participating, g5 just threatens to trap a bishop. My opponent went for counterplay with the queen, but the queen cannot lead the charge of the counterplay here. I actually really didn't like the move that I played. I should have just went king f2 here. I don't know why I don't know. I wasn't like super confident. I was like, my intuition is telling me that king f2 is the best move. And then, you know, bring the rook. But I castled. A little bit of a wimpy move. And he went knight c8. And knight c8 is a very bad move. Because now it's not even about this kingside attack. It's the fact that this queen is trapped. Say, how? How's the queen trapped? You attack it. But how's it trapped? If you go rook b1, it runs away. If you go rook c2, it takes the rook. Rook b1, yeah, he missed that I can just play queen d1. So in overreacting to the position, it's not even, my attack never even had to get going. His queen is just trapped. Rook c2 is the next move. And the queen is lost. He doesn't have any pieces that can come help. It's kind of sad, actually. But it also shows how powerful this opening is, right? Like, yeah, it's a really, really nasty opening, you know? And so maybe for, you know, his notion for 2026, he got to learn how to better line against the Trompowsky. No, I'm just, that's a callback. That's me being humorous. How did I even know that we were going to sponsor this video? I don't know. Am I the same person in the sponsor? Anyway. Now, I won my first game. This was a very nice game, and it shows the power of the Trompowsky. I mean, I have shown you I can go physically in person and defeat master level competition. I can beat people online. It's a really fascinating opening. I really like it. Now, this was the worst game I have played in quite some time. My opponent's FIDE rapid rating 1850. His actual rating is over 2,000 American. But my goodness, I felt like he played better than that, and I certainly played worse. So he played already. And I mean, I really regretted my opening choice. I played a really, really solid and traditional line. Like, I played like a really serious chess player. And that was just dumb. I mean, I should have played like a modern, you know? I should have made the game weird, because that suits my style. Instead, I got into a really solid line, and he played c4, all normal. I played c6. He went d3. So the problem with this setup for black, actually, I mean, nobody plays d3. Like, usually people play d4, c4. I've had a lot of games in that. Sometimes people immediately play queen b3, but I have not faced this. And yeah, the only way that black equalizes this position is taking on c4. This is actually, like, if you want to annoy people at your local chess club, the move d3 combined with c4 is super annoying, because you keep the idea of playing pawn to e4 and expanding in the center completely. And black's way to equalize here is something like this, but this is, I don't know. I mean, this is really, really symmetrical, and black is very passive. And I mean, if you know, black is going to have to spend time developing the knight and bishop and everything. And yeah. And I don't know if he did this consciously or this is just what he plays all the time, but I had to take some risk. Queen b3, I mean, I got to, you know, to take some risks, you got to make some imbalances. But he played the opening really, really intelligently. And I spent a long time here. I spent 4.5 minutes, which might not, well, it depends who you're trying to convince that lasting 4.5 minutes is good. Anyway, yeah, I spent a lot of time, because in my mind, I knew the best move in this position is to take the knight and to take the pawn, like this. Why? How did I know that? I have experience in these structures. The best way to play is to trade your light-scored bishop and then keep a symmetrical structure, because then this bishop really struggles to activate. The problem is this position is also very equal and very symmetrical. And I was thinking, look, I'm probably the better player. The ratings would suggest that. Probably I need to take a risk and get into a potentially worse position, but then outplay him down the stretch. Now, I could have also played e takes d5. I ultimately rejected the move e takes d5. Because I thought he could play g4, push my bishop back, and play something like, I don't even know, knight e5. And then even after knight e5 or wherever, he can even go knight d4. I was like, yo, is my bishop getting trapped? Like, I couldn't understand how to save my bishop. And the answer is kind of. The answer is literally the computer wants to go like this. So when I realized I couldn't take like this, and my best lines were to take symmetrically, I did something deliberately very provocative, and I took like this. Now, this is just bad. This structure is just bad because my knight doesn't develop to the c6 square. He has e4 whenever he wants it. And this is going to be a pretty rough go-round. White is definitely a bit better here. But, okay, let's provoke our opponent into doing something. He plays e4, very practical move. I play knight a6. Now, the best line for white very well could be to play e5, d4, lock up the center, and just play like that. But I was ready for that. I kind of wanted that, because then I would get a very grungy little game. I would reposition my knight and everything. Bishop e3, and I offered the trade of dark squared bishops. The computer really hated this move because it facilitates his plan of d4 and e5. Bishop c5 by me was a little bit of a poker move, because in this position, he already had the option to play e5 and d4, and I was sensing from my opponent, who is lower rated than me, he's not comfortable doing that. He doesn't want to do that. He does want to open up the position. He's not going to play like this. And so here I kind of bluffed. I bluffed, and I was like, I don't think he's going to go d4. I don't think he's going to play this move. And my idea was, if he does, I'm going to go bishop e6. He's going to go e5. I'm going to reposition my knight to c7 and e6. And if he goes all in, well, then that's easy. I also go all in. And I kind of figured we would reach some sort of position like this. This is where we would get, where I have a nice blockade of his pawns. And maybe he foresaw this and was like, I don't know how I'm going to make progress here. To be honest, me neither. I have no idea what I'm going to do here, right? And he's always threatening pressure. So when I played bishop c5, it was a little bit of a bluff, and it paid off. And he went over here. This position, though, gives me a little bit of time to regroup, and now I begin fighting back. So I defend this. I'm looking at knight c5. My queen is also always pointing at h3. He played knight c3. I brought my... First, I took in the center, and at this point, I realized, okay, I probably have equalized the game. Like, I'm very, very close to equality. But no, he went back. He went back. He didn't trade. He kept his bishops. And now I have to outplay this, this gentleman with a pretty bad position, to be totally honest. And now I thought the best plan was to go king h2, f4. But again, he's not playing aggressively, right? He's trying to trade my pieces. I'm like, take my bishop. I don't even care. I don't even want it. I want to play bishops versus knights. He changes his plan. I'm like, really? Seriously, take my bishop. I don't want it. He tries to trade bishops with me. At this point, I'm like, okay, ain't no way trading the bishops can be good, and ain't no way taking with the pawn can be good, but how do I get any advantage here? I don't have anything going for me. So I'm still looking for something. Now at this point, with time trouble incoming, less than 10 minutes on the clock, he starts trying to trade off all the pieces, which is still so annoying. Like, the way he's playing this whole game is annoying me. I'm trying to keep some sort of tension. He plays knight h6. I'm like, ain't no way that's a good move. He's just going to lose time. I bring my king like this. I trade h5, and we have this position. Now I've created some winning chances, believe it or not, because he's wasted a lot of time moving his knight. My knights are very good. He has a bad pawn structure, which he himself created, and the bishop is pretty bad. But I only have 5 minutes. So at this point, I'm sort of playing purely on intuition. I centralize my queen. He goes here. And I baited him to play the move f4. I was really baiting him into just weakening his position. And he did. And then I struck with h4. Now his pawn structure is feeling very delicate because my knight is targeting. He goes to defend himself. I jump in with the knight. We're both in a time trouble. He goes queen f3. That's a mistake. I go queen b6. It's still equal. By the way, his idea, I thought, after pawn takes g3 was maybe I calculated sacking the knight, taking with a check, and then taking this. And I was like, how am I still not outplaying this guy? This is crazy. But finally, he makes a mistake, and his position begins collapsing. But he still played pretty well with counterplay. He went to checkmate me. I had to seal him off. Knight e8 check. I went active with my king. And here I played the move b4, just trying to commit to, promoting on the queen side. He can't really move his queen to take my knight because I would be mating him. And at any given moment, I'm looking to promote on the queen side. Now, here it felt like I was totally winning, but I only have 30 seconds. And he has 25 as well. So it's a very nervy game. And here I could have just traded into this endgame and tried to push my pawns, but I wasn't sure it was winning, to be honest. And I had 13 seconds on the clock. I really didn't know. So I went queen f4, queen d2. I gave him a couple checks. Oh my god. Here I could have done a little step ladder, and I could have taken this pawn. I could have checked him every step of the way. I didn't do that. I mean, my brain was not working. I have 2 seconds on the clock. 2 seconds, and my time starts ticking after 5 seconds every move. So I'm just trying not to flag at this point, and I blunder a draw. Which is just like insane. I play queen d5, and then I take the pawn with check. He blunders now. We're both in a time trouble. And here, I mean, it looks like I've just totally blundered mate, but I have enough checks, and I can win his pawn. And now I can win his pawn with the knight, with a check, and I win because I'm just going to attack him with the knight and the queen. Instead, my ass hangs my knight. I just forgot my knight was hanging. Now I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? So now I just got to push my pawn. I'm like, this is insane. I'm not even going to win this game, but maybe I will actually. It's tricky. My pawns are very strong and his knight can't get back. He goes here, I go here, and now I just push and he can't stop my pawn. He has no time. King G7, and I just sack my queen. I just take. Now we're winning. Except I blunder perpetual check. Like, what am I? Moment of madness. I forgot that I can just go to H7 and he doesn't have a check. Like, 2 seconds, this is what happens. And then I realized, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I could have just put my king on H7 and now we win the game. Slowly but surely. F5. And he has to sack his queen. And it's mate. Okay, that was terrible. That was, like I said, that was a very exciting game. To his credit, he played on equal grounds for like 45, I mean, not exactly 45, but like 35 moves. Position was equal, man. I mean, I was really trying everything. I mean, I applied a lot of pressure. And probably he was like, yo, this dude is going to put me in a YouTube video. I got to lock in. And yeah, that's what happened. I mean, he definitely locked in, and he played very, very well. I was really instigating in this game, and I couldn't come up with anything. And I should have just played faster. That's what I should have done. But I won, and that set up a third-round matchup with the strongest player in the event, Susal da Silva. I don't know why it's starting as a 10-minute, and then it goes like this. He has a lot of names. I don't remember all of them. He's from Sri Lanka. Now, here, I had a really big debate. Because I'm playing a rapid game, right? So I'm thinking, like, should I build my experience for classical chess here? Or should I just play some memes? You know, should I just play a game? You know, see what happens? And I was like, hey, you know, I have never played the Scandinavian over the board. In Blitz, yes. But not in classical. Because there's better openings to play in long games. You know, people study all sorts of stuff. I also could have played the French. I also could have played Caro-Kann. I also could have played Sicilian. I'm playing a lot of stuff nowadays. You know, I'm studying a lot of openings. Even E5, I've been studying. And I was like, nah, let's go, D5. I was actually super convinced I was going to win this game. I was really confident, not because of the last game, but because I was like, I've played Susal online. I think I've beaten him more than I've lost. And also just like, I'm the man. Like, I'm going to win. I don't know. We traded knight C3, queen A5, D4, knight F6, knight F3, all been played before. And here he played the move H3. Now, I've never seen this move before, but you can play this even as early as move 3 against the Scandinavian, as early as move 4 against the Scandinavian, as early as move 5 against the Scandinavian, and now. H3 is it's a peculiar move. First of all, it kind of stops stuff going to G4, but more than anything, it's actually that white wants to go G4. And there's a lot of approaches. I don't actually know what to do against this opening. I had to just think on the spot, so I just played E6. And now I was really curious to see where he was going to put his other pieces. So he now went bishop D2. Okay, so he goes to target my queen. Now, I know here that there is no actual useful discovery. I also know that in the Scandinavian, I mean, I generally like to put my bishop on B4 and trade it off. I felt like maybe here that wasn't the best move. Like maybe I should play knight D7 or C6 or queen back to B6. But I just went bishop B4. I mean, it can't be that bad. It's all around 0.3, 0.4, right? But now he combined all of the right move orders and he played knight E5. So the idea is to trap my queen along the outskirts of the board. I could have here tried to stop the G4 plan and went takes, and queen D5. So it was actually a very interesting and legitimate idea. And in retrospect, maybe I should have gone for it. He can't move his bishop either. But actually, there's this move F3, which is just like, it's so stupid you can play chess like this. And I'm actually in some trouble. He's going to go G4 no matter what now. I also just thought this was idiotic. And I was like, why don't I just go queen B6, targeting his pawn? However, now the tactics actually work out in his favor. So G4, and now I have two choices. I can either go back or I can go here. Queen takes D4 does not work, counterattacking his knight, because he drops back, my queen hangs, I don't have any check, and I lose my bishop. Probably I should have gone bishop E4, but I didn't like this move because I looked at takes, and C3. And I was like, well, then I gotta go here, bring my bishop back, he castles long and puts his bishop on g2, and I gave him the entire setup that he wants. So why would I do that, you know? So I went passive, he went bishop g2, and I went c6. I shouldn't have played c6. Probably knight c6 is the best move, immediately trying to fight back, but I mean, it's rapid. I was like, I mean, c6 looks very natural. He went a3, and now, even though my whole plan was to take, I probably have to go back. So it definitely felt like he got what he wanted from the opening, and somewhere I didn't play as accurately as possible. But still, like here, I thought life is pretty good. And then he bluffed, and it sort of worked, you know? Like he went queen e2, and he gave me 2 pawns at the same time. Taking this pawn is pretty insane because he would go rook b1, and if I try to win all his pawns, this is just very bad for me. My queen is just very bad. He's going to win my pawns back. Taking on d4, he castles, and my position just felt very dangerous. Now, the computer evaluates it as equal, despite me being down a full pawn. Up a full pawn. White being down a full pawn. But I don't know. And I mean, I looked at this and was like, I don't actually know what my next moves are. I'll tell you, my next moves are bringing the queen all the way back. And then when he plays something like h4, bringing my queen all the way back. And then when he plays f5, I can like take, maybe go here and survive. The alternative is like, yeah, I mean, I have to like take, go back, develop, and just sit. And that's probably what I should have done. Because after bishop e7, he doesn't have that many good chances to capitalize on his advantage. Queen e2 was not the best move. But I have to hold on the roller coaster. And I didn't do that. Instead, I went for a queen trade, and I actually was pretty happy with how I was navigating this position overall. I thought I was doing a very nice job. Queen a2 is coming, knight d7, and then I'm going to put my knight on f6. And the one major moment here happened in this position. He played queen c7. I mean, I thought this move was not possible. I actually thought he blundered. So I thought he blundered bishop takes a3. What's funny about the move bishop takes a3, he can't take, right? I'm also threatening queen c3. What's funny about this move, and if queen b7, I can play queen takes c3, and if he plays queen takes a8 check, I go king e7, his queen hangs, and I'm threatening a checkmating attack. So, not quite, but anyway. He went queen c7, and I was sitting there like, wait a minute, did he just blunder bishop takes a3? And then I was like, if I play bishop takes a3, can he just play this? The answer is yes. That's the best move. In my mind, I was like, he can't go queen c7 because I have bishop a3. And then he went queen c7, and I was like, did he blunder bishop a3? And he told me after the game, after bishop a3, he thought he can go d5. But he can't because I go here. So he completely blundered bishop a3, but it doesn't work. Or maybe we misunderstood each other. I don't know. Maybe we misunderstood. But I remember I asked him after the game, I was like, after queen c7, did you blunder bishop a3? He's like, no, I have d5. I was like, what? Don't I have queen c3? Maybe he mixed something up, but the thing is, he would have actually found this move. It's not that hard to find, and I didn't see it from a distance. I was like, this is so unbelievable. My bishop is now hanging, and I lose the entire queen side. So actually, all of this works out, and here I made a really bad move. I played rook b8, and this is just too passive, because now I don't have anything. It's really hard for me to develop. I'm trying to castle my king, but before I know it, I mean, he begins opening up the center. It's very instructive how he did this. He attacks my rook and my pawn, so I can't even castle. And now my king is in the middle. I was actually defending this position very, very decently. I was playing rook f8 and bringing my bishop back to protect my king. It's only +1. +1 is manageable. f5, I took. And then I went rook g8 to try to kick out his queen, and he kept applying pressure. But this was a bad move. For a long time, I had my eyes on this a3 pawn because I was thinking, well, he's, his pawn's still protecting his bishop, and this rook is not in the game. And I felt like if I just keep sitting around and doing nothing, then he's probably just going to bring his rook and checkmate me. And to be honest with you, that's probably true, because the computer's way of creating counterplay here is trying to sack the rook for the bishop. Like, it wants rook e1, rook c3. I don't think I'm going to survive this position. So practically speaking, with my king in the middle and both rooks and the queen attacking, probably I'm just going to lose. And he did a very nice job navigating this position. But this move just makes it even worse. And he just haunted my king, and the game I never got back into this game at all. I went for a little bit of funny counterplay, but it just totally doesn't work. He made a new queen. Shocking. He sacked a queen to win, and I resigned here. I thought maybe he was going to blunder perpetual, but he did not. And we played a couple more moves. You know, I'm going to be very honest. I haven't been outplayed like this in a minute. Like, I really felt like he played really, really well. There was nothing I could have done, you know? Just a really classy game by my opponent, and then he went on to win a tournament in Las Vegas. He tied for first in the National Open. North American Open, not National Open. North American Open, 2025. December, Vegas. Happens every year. So, you know, good for him, man. I'm happy. He's like 10 years younger than me, too. He's born in, like, I don't know, 2006? Bro, we in different generations. Stay away from me. But maybe if I played one of my more mainline things, I would have gotten a better position. But look, I mean, this is what I mean. You know, at my level, Scandinavian is a tough opening. You're not going to have games like this at your local chess club. I thought I was actually playing very reasonably. I just had to take the pawn. I had to call his bluff, and I didn't. And he played a very nice game, applied very good pressure. But we bounced back. We bounced back with a thunderous victory. This was a very nice win. This was a very nice win because it was very fast. It felt very sophisticated. And my opponent was a fan. I took a picture with him before the game, and they told me about how he played a game at the Marshall Championship and he sacrificed the rook and everything. A lot of people want to get a game featured on this channel. I have an inbox full of like 12,000 emails. Whenever I need a viewer game, I will pop in there. But shout out to Santosh. He's obviously going to be a very good player. I saw the game, anyway. I went bishop g5, even though he only played the queen's pawn, because I figured, you know, there's a chance that it becomes a Trompowsky. Maybe he will play c5, h6, all this stuff, but he went knight f6, and I was like, oh yeah, let's go. We're going to get to the setup that we want, and there's the setup that we want. There's the setup all the time, you know, c5, and I took an f6, not the best move, but I also could have went f4 straight away. But again, we're doing the same thing. I took on f6. He took back with the bishop instead of the knight. I think, like we saw in the Kyle game, that's just going to be problematic. And then he played a couple of moves like to get some counterplay going on this side of the board, but it's all a bit slow. Now, I was a little confused here because he wasn't castling. And so I didn't want to commit to an attack just yet. So I castled. And then he actually made a mistake here. He castled. What's incredible about the move 0-0 here for black is it's quite literally a mistake, because just like the Kyle game, here I go with h4 is not the best. I could have played g4, h4. I didn't know which one was better. But generally, when you can get away with this Trompowsky attack at g4, 2 times in the same tournament, I gotta go for it, and then I went g4 anyway. So he's attacking my pawn now, but he can't even take it, because if he takes it, I lock out his bishop, and he loses his bishop. So he can't do that, right? So this game was absolutely ruthless. I mean, I felt kind of bad playing this game. So I played g5, I pushed the bishop back, and I play h5. Pure same side attacking chess. The idea is to open up the file, right? Also, I will bring my queen and my rook, etc. He went f5, and now it's very important I play the move that I played in the game, because if I don't play the move that I played in the game, my bishop is locked out. Also, his king has an escape. En passant. G takes f6. It's very important I play this move. My bishop stays open. We chop 2 more pawns, and now it's just 1 remaining pawn protecting his king. But more than anything else, he has no counterplay. There's 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 no counterplay. He doesn't have any move to create any counterplay. So now I played the best move again. I was very happy with my understanding of this position. Rook f2. Bringing the rook to the second file, right? To the second row, and then to the G or H file. c4 is desperation, but now the position is completely locked. And the way I then maneuvered all of my pieces, it was very fun. So first I went rook g2 attacking the pawn. He went back to defend himself. And I immediately jump in the middle. So now he can't put anything on d7. g6 is under a direct attack, right? He goes for counterplay with his queen, but instead of taking, I just improve my position again, bringing another piece. He goes back, and now the best move in the position is not even to take the pawn. I have enough time here to move my king. And the idea of moving the king is the absolutely amazing Queen H1 and Rook G1. I have never played a position like this where I rotated all of my pieces, and now I have 19 plus 9. I have 28 points of material attacking the opponent. When I was playing this game, I was like, I feel like I've assembled the pieces of Exodia. I was just like, I'm drawing all the cards, man, and I'm just gonna just obliterate. Like, he doesn't have any way to defend himself. Rook C7, and now when everything looks good, then we play this move. And when you have this much material barreling at a king, you're gonna have a knockout punch. And I did have a knockout punch. You gotta find the cleanest way. I really wanted to sacrifice my queen, but it doesn't work. It actually never works, which is sort of sad. But instead I just have rook takes G7. And when I played it, I made sure to scream the rook in his face. No, I didn't. And Queen H7. Nice little tactical find. The king and the rook are both hit. They can't take because of the pin. Anywhere he moves the king, Queen G7 is mate. Yeah, it is very rare you get a position that looks this good. I think this is literally the best position I've ever had. It's just like, it's like a big brother beating up a little brother. There's just no, you just sit on him. There's nothing, and then you just take. So Santosh, I think, maybe felt a little bit nervous as well. He played really, really, really fast, and a lot of these moves were not the best moves. Like, he just played them, and I was like... So he gotta... It's especially important when you play in an unfamiliar position that you take your time, right? You can't just let the opponent do everything they want, especially if they're familiar and you're not. But he's young, experience will come, and also I played two games back-to-back with similar structures, and hopefully it's instructive. Both these players were masters, 2,200 plus. If I can do it, you can do it against your local chess club attendees. That concludes the video. So the tournament list is there. I have a couple of tournaments and events coming up in January. Going to be a very busy month. And we keep on chugging right along, you know. We just finished the World Rapid and Blitz Championships. My goal for the new year is just to gain some rating back and feel good about over-the-board chess, which now I really am enjoying. And it's going to be fun. 2026 is going to be a great year with candidates in the World Championship. Hopefully no idiotic dramas or anything like that. And as always, I wish you health, happiness, Happy New Year, wherever it is already. And that is all. I'll see you in the next video. Get out of here.